Wouldn't it be nice to have several thought leaders in your industry know and love your brand? Start a podcast. Invite your industry's thought leaders to be guests on your show and start reaping the benefits of having a network full of industry influencers. Learn more at sweetfishmedia.com.
You're listening to B2B Growth, a daily podcast for B2B leaders. We've interviewed names you've probably heard before, like Gary Vaynerchuk and Simon Sinek, but you've probably never heard from the majority of our guests. That's because the bulk of our interviews aren't with professional speakers and authors. Most of our guests are in the trenches leading sales and marketing teams. They're implementing strategy. They're experimenting with tactics. They're building the fastest growing B2B companies in the world. My name is James Carberry. I'm the founder of Sweetfish Media, a podcast agency for B2B brands, and I'm also one of the co-hosts of this show. When we're not interviewing sales and marketing leaders, you'll hear stories from behind the scenes of our own business. We'll share the ups and downs of our journey as we attempt to take over the world. Just kidding. Well, maybe. Let's get into the show. Welcome back to B2B Growth. I'm Logan Lyles with Sweetfish Media. I'm joined today by Mark Sinanian, Senior Director of Solutions Marketing at Canon Solutions America. Mark, how's it going today, sir?
Going well, Logan.
Thank you so much for joining us. You know, we are right on the heels of wrapping up another National Cybersecurity Month, and today's topic is going to be very timely there. We're going to be talking about the importance of cybersecurity, specifically for the marketing function within a lot of organizations. Before we jump straight into that, Mark, I would love for you to give us a little background on yourself, what you and the team at Canon are up to these days, especially as it's related to today's topic.
Sure. My name is Mark Sinanian. I'm Senior Director of Solutions Marketing at Canon Solutions America. And for the last, say, 18 months, we've been very focused on security and really all aspects of security, not just security related to endpoints or document security. It's all aspects of security as documents and information flow in and out of outside of organizations. So we've been trying to shore up not only our portfolio, but as well our messaging so we can help our customers understand really what Canon can bring to bear when we're talking about security documents, security of information, cybersecurity, security awareness training for individuals. It's really, to be really cyber secure, you need all things kind of hitting on all cylinders. You can't have a secure organization when you just address one thing. So we're trying to help our customers understand all 5 aspects. We call them 5 pillars of security so that they can have the most secure organization around.
Yeah. So you touch on something there that I think leads us into today's topic in the relation between cybersecurity and marketing. You mentioned, all areas of security firing on all cylinders, and that means awareness of cybersecurity throughout all functions and departments within the organization. Can you speak to a little bit, most of our audience here are B2B marketers and, just talking with marketers every day. I know that cybersecurity is not top of list right there with brand awareness and email open rates and MQLs and all those other things. Can we pause here for a second to speak about why should marketers be thinking more about cybersecurity within their functional role within the business?
Sure. So when you think about it, as a marketer, we understand the power that personalization brings to our customer experience. And it all starts with knowing your customer, or better said, it's about remembering our customer. Mm-hmm. And thanks to CRM systems and behavior analytics solutions, we can track our customers' buying preferences, their patterns, the type of content that they're interested in consuming. And from there, we can create personalized experiences that align with their interests and drive higher engagement. But in order to do that, you need access to personal information. And more often than that, that is controlled by a number of different current and emerging privacy regulations. So I'm talking more, it's more than just GDPR, because when you talk privacy, the first thing that comes to mind is GDPR for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
But it's more than GDPR. There are industries that are governed by legacy privacy regulations like FERPA for the education space or HIPAA for healthcare. And they mandate the same kind of controls that you get in GDPR for controlling personally identifiable information, or PII.
Yep,
On the
absolutely.
horizon, in fact, is the California Consumer Privacy Act, or CCPA, which may set the trend for a lot of other statutory privacy regulations throughout the country. We're going to see that in the very near future. CCPA goes live next year, and a lot of other states are looking at that regulation as well. As a marketer, you have access to data that may be impacted by these privacy regulations. Customer email addresses, their IP addresses, their names. Typically, we won't have things like social security numbers or anything like that when we're marketing. But
Right.
Some of the things that I mentioned are covered by those privacy regulations.
Yeah, it's not only the functional areas and the departments and the industries that have social security numbers and health information where you need to be concerned about privacy. So I'm curious, Mark, how have some of these things influenced your own strategy on, your own marketing there at Canon?
Good question. So they've really helped to inform our marketing approach, and it's led to a more of a focus on the technologies that comprise our security portfolio, but also how we articulate our security message to our customers. Security can be a really, really complex topic. So as Canon, we need to take a step back. We needed to communicate that complex topic in a way that it will allow our customers to easily understand the risk that exists throughout their organization, and as well the technology and services available from Canon that can help to mitigate those risks.
Yeah.
As a Canon affiliate, Canon Solutions America, we recognized that we needed a holistic but layered approach to security, both in our messaging and in their products. We call it the 5 pillars of security, and it's really designed to take all these complex technologies and relate it to our customers in a way that it's easy for them to wrap their heads around, deliver it in smaller bites, so it's more easily digestible.
Imagine it, a spreadsheet filled with rows and rows of your sales enablement assets. You've devoted 2 years to organizing this masterpiece, only for it to stop making sense. This was Chad Trabucco's reality. As the head of sales enablement at Glint, a LinkedIn company, he's responsible for instilling confidence in his sales reps and arming them with the information they need to do their jobs. However, when his glorious spreadsheet became too complex, he realized he needed a new system. That's when Chad turned to Guru. With Guru, the knowledge you need to do your job finds you. Between Guru's web interface, Slack integration, mobile app, and browser extension, teams can easily search for verified knowledge without leaving their workflow. No more siloed or staled information. Guru acts as your single source of truth. For Chad, this meant Glint sales reps were left feeling more confident doing their jobs. See why leading companies like Glint, Shopify, Spotify, Slack, and more are using Guru for their knowledge management needs. Visit b2bgrowth.getguru.com to start your 30-day free trial and discover how knowledge management can empower your revenue teams.
As other marketing teams are listening to this, you mentioned some regulations on the horizon, some trends there with states looking at what California is doing. What other tips or maybe stories from the road as you've talked with other marketing teams, other customers of pitfalls to avoid here in the future when it comes to this issue of privacy, cybersecurity, and managing a lot of personally identifiable information within our marketing departments?
Well, I think the one thing I would say is security is something that really impacts everyone. So regardless of where you sit in the organization, it's not just an IT responsibility or the job of the data privacy committee. It's a subject that impacts everybody in the organization, including marketing. Imagine you arrive at your office one day, bright and early in the morning, and you learn your marketing files, are held hostage by a cyber criminal. Or maybe the materials, the pricing, and go-to-market plan for your new whiz-bang product has been compromised and possibly leaked. Or maybe your organization is marketing your products to an industry that's controlled by one of the privacy regulations that I talked about, or maybe the EU citizens, and the data you use in your campaigns is not secured the way those regulations require. Mm-hmm. The way your organization protects that information can be a very complex topic. So you need to communicate to customers in a way that they easily understand the risks that exist throughout the organization, as well the technology and services that Canon has.
So, Mark, I love what you talked about earlier in breaking down, a complex topic into bite-sized pieces. As you guys look at how you talk about security to your customers, on a similar note, as we're talking to marketers, you mentioned really realizing that it impacts their function, and then there are a lot of things to think about. The privacy around their go-to-market strategy, their customers' information. Is there one place maybe to start as we talk about breaking down a complex issue into smaller bites or smaller steps? Are there a common set of first steps that you guys recommend to marketing teams that are just now kind of getting their mind around, hey, security is important for our function? What do we do first?
Yeah, I think the first step is in addressing any security concerns is trying to figure out where you are today. What's your, where is your organization from a security exposure standpoint? So it all starts with some kind of assessment to determine how secure you are, where the potential security risks are, because you really don't know what to fix until you have an idea of where you are as compared to benchmark organizations. So if I were starting out and it were, my company and I had security concerns, the first thing I would do is hire a cybersecurity professional to come in and audit my organization and find out what we're doing well, what we're doing not so well, where the holes are. And then I can work with an organization's canon to identify both business process changes and technologies to help fill those holes.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Before you need to take that step, you need to figure out where you are and which direction you need to step. That's great advice, Mark, as we wrap things up today. Well, Mark, you've shared some great knowledge today. I would love to hear from you something that's informing your approach. Something that we tend to ask a lot of our guests is what we call a never stop learning resource. One of our core values here at Sweetfish is to never stop learning. So whether it's marketing, cybersecurity related, or just something that you find yourself going to for personal development lately, I would love for you to share a resource that listeners might want to know about today.
Sure. So in the security, relative to security marketing and how we've kind of shaped our message and how we've taken this very big topic and boiled it down into bite-sized pieces, I'd recommend you go to Canon's Solution America's website, csa.canon.com. We have a security page that takes our entire portfolio and all the security capabilities and boils it down into a 5-pillar of security message. So it makes this, like I mentioned earlier, this very complex topic very easy for somebody to wrap their heads around.
Mark, thank you so much for coming on the show. This was a really great conversation, man.
Thanks, Logan.
We totally get it. We publish a ton of content on this podcast, and it can be a lot to keep up with. That's why we've started the B2B Growth Big 3, a no-fluff email that boils down our 3 biggest takeaways from an entire week of episodes. Sign up today at sweetfishmedia.com/big3. That's sweetfishmedia.com/big3.